But wait, there's more. Just watch till the end of the video because I kind of do have a different perspective on it now. What's up, guys? It's the Cheapster coming back with another honest review, and this time I'm going to be reviewing the app Handy. If you don't know what Handy is, it's like an on-demand kind of Uber app, but it's like for contract work or like handiwork and cleaning and stuff, like house cleaning and just different types of cleaning. But I didn't do that. I dealt more with the handiwork side of things. And the cool thing about the handiwork is it's more like, it's not just like the small handiwork stuff. It could also be like electrical, plumbing. So if you have a trade that you're pretty specific on, I think that they've got like pretty much everything here that you could find some jobs to do. Back in early 2019, I decided I would give Handy a try, and it's a very simple process to get started. You just request to work for them, and I think they do a background check, and for me it was very quick. I didn't feel like there was much time waiting for them to approve, and then they just ask you what your skills are and then what level your skills are at, because that's going to help them determine what jobs you should get sent. After that, it just gives you a list of your area and tells you all these different types of jobs. It's like in your area and then outside of your area. So the jobs, basically what they show you is then what the description of the job is, how much you would get paid for that job, what they think the amount of time it would take to do that job would be, what time you have to be there to do the job for the person. And then if you see stuff that you like, you just scroll through, look at all these different offers and stuff, and then if you see something, you just claim it. And if you claim it, it's yours. It's your job to do. It's just your responsibility to be there and complete that job for the person. So it's very simple. It's a really cool, just simple app. It seemed like a great idea because actually in the time that I've done this and been a handyman myself, one of the hardest parts that I felt like doing was actually keeping up with the scheduling of people and finding new people and finding new jobs and stuff, because there was a lot of days where I'd be out working most of the day and get back really late. Sure, I could have hired an assistant, but that would have cost me money. So this is just something that actually works well because it's like, well, they're going to find the jobs for you and then you don't have to do all that work or pay somebody to do that. So for me, starting out, I had obviously had a lot of experience in this industry, and I've done like just a whole bunch of different types of things, not just like one specific type of handiwork. So I had been kind of used to getting paid like a certain amount that was pretty high. It was kind of like a mid-level, but it wasn't like high like a professional company, but it wasn't low like an amateur. And I checked the website to see kind of what they said that they pay before I even signed up for it, and it said that they paid like $45 to $62 an hour as a handyman or landscaper, which to me was pretty good. There was only certain jobs that I probably asked for that type of money. Usually I'd probably be a little bit lower than that, so I thought, okay, well, that's pretty great. And of course I figured, you know, all these websites, they always try to kind of inflate numbers. When you first see them on their website and then you go on, you're like, it's not really exactly what they're saying. And of course, when I started out looking through the jobs, that's pretty much what I saw. It wasn't really that high, but it also wasn't too low. So what I saw was, looking through, I felt like usually the jobs paid about $15 to $20 an hour, which was lower than I wanted, and it was lower than what I would usually ask when I was doing work myself. But I figured, hey, they're taking out some of my expenses or time that I have to spend to find these jobs, so maybe if I can find some stuff, it's worth it. But one of the things I did notice was, at first, it was hard to find jobs in my area that made sense. There were a lot of jobs. It was like, you could see a lot on the list, but it was within like probably like a 2 to 3 hour drive radius. So some of those were just like too far, where if they would have been in my city, I would have been like, okay, that makes sense, and I want to go do that job. That would make me some decent money. But they would be like, okay, well, I got to drive like an hour to go do that and drive an hour back. It was a little bit hard at the beginning, and it also just seemed like a lot of jobs didn't really make enough money for my experience level, and maybe that was a little bit part of me because of the fact that I had so much experience. It was kind of like, okay, I don't want to do that for that price, but if I didn't have as much experience, maybe it would have made a lot more sense for me to do it. But most of it really did come down to the driving time was just like too much. There were less jobs then. When I first started, I think it was not as much because it wasn't as defined as an app, and now I think it actually is used a lot more, and it's actually got more jobs now from what I've seen. But I'd say I think it took me about a month before I really found like a job, and there was probably stuff that I could have done, but I was still kind of just looking for things that made sense for my skill level and my driving time to not spend too much money on gas. So after about a month, I did find my first job, and the funny thing was, it wasn't in handiwork. It was actually a moving job, which I didn't even know they had, but it was a moving job that paid $160 for 5 hours of work. So I thought, hey, that's pretty good. Like, I am willing to go do this to make that kind of money. Starting off, I accepted that and I claimed that job, and I noticed a problem right away one of the main problems I had was I could not contact the client until I think the day of. I think it was like an hour before the job started, which this was like a 9 in the morning job, I think. So it wasn't until 8 in the morning that I could even contact this person and talk to them. And I did need to talk to them about, things maybe I needed to bring stuff, or, kind of what the expectations were for the day. So that was kind of frustrating for me. And they actually ended up calling me before. So I was really happy that they called me, because I was like, okay, well, now I can talk to you about some of these things. They were really confused because they thought I was an entire company. They thought I was going to be bringing a truck, that I was multiple guys. And I was like, no, I'm just one guy. I don't have a truck. I have a van, which was just, I happened to have a van. It didn't say I needed to have one or anything. So we were both pretty confused. It was confusing on both sides for us. But putting that all aside, in the end, I showed up. We kind of got things figured out. The guy got a truck that he paid for, and I showed up and helped him move stuff. I think they thought that they weren't going to have to do anything, and I was going to be a company that was going to move stuff. So I felt a little bit bad for them, but they were fine with it. They were really nice people. And at the end, I did the work, helped them move everything, and then I got paid. It was very simple. I got paid from Handy, not from the people. So it was very simple. And then after I got paid the $160, I noticed that they took a $20 fee, which I understood that there was probably going to be some type of fee structure, and that's how they would make their money. They're a company. They've got to be able to make money too, to be able to run the app and everything. So I ended up making $140 for 5 hours, which wasn't as good, but it was still decent money. I didn't mind it. But that's where things got weird, because actually the person that I did the job for, I talked to them. He actually came up to me and asked me how much I was getting paid. And at first I was kind of like, okay, this is kind of weird for him to ask me that, but I was like, okay, I guess he just wants to know how much of the money is going to me from the app. So I told him 150, and he was like, you're getting 150. And I was thinking that he was like upset that I was getting paid that much or something. And that's when he told me he paid $400 for me to come do this. So I see why he was so confused that I was some type of company that was going to do all the stuff for him, because he paid so much money. So that meant that $260 went to Handy instead of to me. That's almost twice as much as I got paid went to them over me. That seemed really high. And then the fact that they also took a fee on top of that with taking this huge chunk of money. So I didn't feel good about that, because I felt like that they were taking like way too much money. And that kind of made me not so happy with the company that they were doing that. And I kind of wondered, okay, maybe this was just maybe a problem and there was an issue and it was supposed to be different, but I don't know. That's what it was. So I wasn't super happy. And then even after that, I didn't find a job for quite a while that I felt like would make sense for me to do. And then also, this is a part to say here, Handy also has an $8 a week Pro Premium access fee, which is basically meaning that you have to pay to get jobs. And I don't really like that, because that's like basically then all the people who pay that fee then are the ones who can get all the jobs, and then all the jobs don't come to the people, so they kind of get picked over before you can even see the jobs. So I guess if you wanted to pay that $8, but I just don't feel like it would be that great of a thing, because the jobs were already low from what I was seeing. So then I think you'd be paying $8, but I don't know, maybe that is a better thing to do. But it seemed like people were kind of taking all the jobs. That's probably what was happening. And then it also just didn't make a lot of sense for my skill level, so I kind of walked away from it at that point. And I know this is where I only did one job, so I'm trying to give a review of it. I only did one job, but I did keep up with it, and that's the thing. I kept up with the app the whole time. For the entire year of 2019, I kept up with the app. I didn't really walk away from it where I wasn't looking. I just didn't see much for that, like almost that whole time. And I was also a little bit upset with just how the company was run when I found out that they paid $400. So I kind of walked away from it. But wait, there's more. Just watch till the end of the video, because I kind of do have a different perspective on it now. So I have checked now kind of to see where the app was now that we're about a year, a little bit over a year since the time that I actually did it, to see if maybe some things have changed. This is funny, because usually the way that these on-demand apps work is they usually pay you really well when the apps first start out, and then they start to trail off your pay and not pay you as much. From what I've seen, it looks like Handy's done the opposite. It looks like they paid terrible at the beginning. Maybe they had to learn the lesson that they needed to pay more because everyone was getting upset with it, not wanting to work for them. Because I have checked since, and it seems like the pay now is about $25 to $30 an hour before the fee, and that's a lot more. It also seemed like there was a lot more jobs, so I think it's just more established now in this area, or maybe it's just more established as an app itself. Some of that is probably just them realizing that they can't be greedy, and I really like the idea of the app. I think it's a great thing, but yeah, I think they were being a little too greedy, or not even a little, they were being a lot too greedy at the beginning, taking so much money from the people who actually do the work and the customers and stuff. So I think maybe they've realized that, and maybe now it's gotten better and stuff. And I'm actually thinking I may try the app again because it looks like it's actually more in the price range of what I would be happy to do. And these are like jobs that are actually around the area that aren't far. Maybe it's like a 30-minute drive, but you know, $25 to $30 an hour, that makes a lot more sense than it did when it was like 15 to 20. So yeah, I think I may try it again. I actually may do a day in the life of a handy worker. I don't know what you would call that, but I may try to do a video like that. But in the end, I know I didn't really give it like a great review, but I think a lot of that was what it was in 2019, and now it's gotten better. So I would recommend you try it. It's free to sign up, and then of course you just go through the process, and it was very simple. So I don't see any reason that you shouldn't try it if this is something you're interested in, because it's not like you're ever forced into doing any jobs either. You can at least get signed up and see what's offered, and if you don't like anything, don't take it. But if you want to sign up, you can use my link down below. It actually helps me out if you use it. This isn't sponsored. It's a referral link that they give you if you are on Handy. So if you want to use that, I'd appreciate it if you're going to sign up. And it may be different too based on what area you're in. Of course, I'm in like a medium-sized city, so I think smaller cities actually might be better, where there's like a lot less people. And if Handy's there, you might actually have better luck because you might be kind of the only person who works in that area. So you might just get all those jobs. The area can change so much of what your experience is going to be. So I would just say try it, because you might find that your area, maybe it's just a gold mine of jobs and you could just do so much work. So there's no reason to not go ahead and get signed up and try it and see if it works in your area, because you never know. And also, money's money. So you know what, even if it's like, you know, you can't do it as like a full-time job, but there's part-time stuff that maybe you can pick up every now and then and make some money. Well, then that's some extra money that you can have. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you like this review. I tried to stay unbiased on it, and I'm not sponsored. Like I said, the link down below is just a referral link, and I don't see a reason why people shouldn't try it if you're interested in it, because you're not forced to do jobs. You can just decide if you want to do it or not. But yeah, I think I may actually go back and try it again, because it seems like it's gotten a little bit better. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you like this video, go ahead and do the cheapest thing you can and go ahead and tap that like button, and also subscribe to my channel. I do a video every week on finance or entrepreneurship, or you know, just saving money or making more money. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, stay cheap.
That's cheap. You still haven't subscribed? Oh my god, come on. What do you